I've been the full-time carer for my late wife, who was 15. She couldn't walk very far because of chronic fatigue syndrome, and so she was prescribed what's called a depot injection.
I attempted to take my own life. You know, I took a massive overdose of drugs. I thought if you take a lot of drugs that you'd just go into a nice deep sleep, you know. I did go into a deep sleep, but then I woke up in the most excruciating pain.
I've seen people become very distressed, people that have committed suicide.
If somebody has mental health difficulties, which might be influenced by a number of factors. So the Mental Health Act is a piece of legislation whereby you assess people under the Mental Health Act, and that's really a last resort option.
Mental health social work would be specialising generally with people with fairly severe mental health issues.
And she suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome and comorbid depression. She too gave her life to Jesus.
As an approved mental health professional, we have to take into account like human rights. We have to take in the Mental Capacity Act. We have to take in the Care Act. We have to take in the Mental Health Act.
I was working sometimes 100 hours a week, you know, and I wasn't sleeping. I was hearing voices at the time. This was part of the problem. I hit a brick wall and through overwork.
I think risk factors, so somebody might be acutely unwell and that might mean that they are emotionally labile, they might not want to go to hospital. The nature of their illness or difficulties might mean there's increased violence and aggression.
I didn't want to kill myself, I don't think. I just wanted the pain to go away.
But social work has a real key role in supporting people who are around social justice, around legislation, around advocating for them and making them maximise their opportunities in the community they live in.
It's very difficult because as AMPs we see people who, by the very nature of the job we do, they've got mental health problems and there's a risk. And constantly we're trying to manage and balance making the person safe versus trying to promote their independence and autonomy and look at less restrictive alternatives.
Christine was my friend as well as my wife. And people do say, oh, we were soulmates, and that just about summed it up. I'm now living alone. And I have my work, which now consists of interviewing potential applicants for social work BA and MA courses.
I mentioned that I'm also a carer. I also support 2 or 3 elderly gentlemen. Social workers who want to be an AMP, and they go on a course to become AMPs. And before they're admitted to the course, they have to have an interview. So I'm on the interview board. I've moved on.
you.